Demian, I don't know exactly where we are right now. We look to Carlos Ghosn being held for an extra 10 days, and we also understand that actually the alliance, Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi, are not replacing him yet. What does that tell us?
Yeah, well, I guess the fact that he isn't being replaced kind of points to the fact that this whole episode has triggered or allowed to rise back up some tensions that we've had for a long time in this alliance, but that have been underlying, right? And those all stem from the fact that Renault has got disproportionate influence within the alliance, but is a smaller company. You know, Renault has got this voting control over Nissan by virtue of owning 43% of it, but Nissan has zero influence over Renault. And the arrest has exacerbated that tension by creating a situation where we no longer have a common chairman among the companies in the alliance. And that, in turn, has allowed Nissan's own CEO to exert greater influence within the alliance. And that's causing this sort of fraction.
Demian, we hear from various press reports that actually President Macron of France plans to ask the Japanese Prime Minister for the investigations to be made transparent, and also to ask him about the reasons that led to Mr. Carlos Ghosn's arrest. Do we, are you concerned that this is actually because of Japanese political pressure that the prosecutors arrested him?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, the situation is that there's a complicated set of allegations against him about which we haven't really got a great deal of details, right? We know that he's accused of misstating earnings, but because we can't see the evidence, it's hard to evaluate whether it's going to be an open and shut case against him or one that might fall into legal grey areas and therefore ends up kind of extending into some sort of protracted debate. Now, I think the big risk here comes if you end up with a situation that Renault, for whatever reason, doesn't fire Mr. Ghosn. So he has been fired at Nissan and Mitsubishi, who quickly removed him from the chairman. They obviously know what all the details of the allegations are. Now, at the same time, though, Ghosn does appear to be denying these charges that are against him, right? So you've got a conflict. And if Renault effectively ends up siding with Mr. Ghosn rather than with their alliance partners, then that's going to question the legitimacy of Nissan's allegations, and that's when you've got the making of a big rift within the alliance.
Demian, it's a week of General Motors here in the United States. You have a brilliant comment in your research report of Volkswagen moving faster than Daimler. Is Renault even moving? I mean, is there a strategic plan for Renault, or is it basically a war to the government?
Do you mean sort of with respect to electrification and all of that sort of
stuff?
What's
the plan? I don't know what the plan is for Renault. I can't figure it out. What is it?
Well, yeah, I mean, their plan largely hinges on emerging market growth. You know, that's their strength. They're not a premium automaker, and they're not an automaker that's got exposure to the very profitable North American market. So for them, it's all about, well, can we grow in places like Latin America and in the Middle East? And it's not even really about, you know, significant margin expansion. They've got a 7% margin target, which isn't that far away from what they do today. So it's more about growth. And so if you want to buy, so if you're going to ignore this whole sort of special situation which we've got with, you know, the merger, right, and the potential sort of structural things that they can do in order to unlock value, i.e. selling Nissan shares. So if you ignore all of that for a minute, then if you want to buy Renault core for the core investment case itself, then you need to believe in emerging market growth.